Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let me just say the past 24 hours have been absolutely crazy. I don't know if you've ever opened your computer and tried to do something and realised very quickly that you have to reinstall your whole operating system. You lose all the apps and all the programs that you depend on in order to make your week go smooth and get everything up and running for church. Well, that's been my experience. And it was a late night last night. And I was kind of thinking, oh no, what's going to happen now? We've got our prayer time just coming up in a few minutes at 8:30 on Zoom. And normally we have a feature or a testimony beforehand, but that's not going to happen. So I decided that I was going to just come and give you a quick encouragement as we head into this time of prayer. Let me encourage you that if you want to come and spend these times in prayer, we're thinking about some pretty big stuff as a church. But we also recognise that when we come to pray, we can come to God with the little things as well, the things that concern us today. And you'd be welcome to join us. So when this is finished, then send me a message and I'll send you the link with the access to be able to come into Zoom at 8:30 and join us for this prayer time. But sticking with our focus, I suppose, on David, and as we head towards our last session this Sunday coming, I want to read a psalm to you tonight. A psalm to encourage you, a psalm to bless you, and a psalm that can really speak into our lives with what's happening today. Listen to this from Psalm 66. Shout with joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Make his praise glorious. You know, right at the start of this psalm, we're encouraged to come and worship. And let me encourage you today to sing out. We might not be able to sing in the church building, but you can sing wherever you are, in your living room, in the kitchen, whether you're in the car or even in the shower. You can sing out praises to God. But then it says, say to God, how awesome are your deeds. Now, I get a lot of stick because I love to use that word, awesome. And yes, probably most of the time using it out of context. But take a minute to think how awesome our God is. We are so blessed to have a relationship with a God who is awesome. It says, how awesome are your deeds, so great is your mighty power, that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bow down to you in worship. They sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name. But it's this next verse that I want us to think about tonight in this short devotion before we go to prayer. It says this, come and see what God has done. Now, I was challenged when I read this verse because I was thinking to myself, how often do I invite other people to come and see what God has done in my life up until this point, no matter what's going on, if it's been chaotic like the past 24 hours or whether it's been calm. How often do we say to people, come and see how awesome our God is? It says here, how awesome his works on man's behalf. You know, we're not living today alone. We have got God who is awesome and mighty and powerful on our side. How amazing is that? And as this psalm is written, this song is a song of praise. It then goes on to say some of the things that God has done. So I want you to take a minute. And as we spend this time looking at this psalm, I want you to take a moment and look at all the things that God has done in your life. From that moment where you first met him. Now, I recognise you might be watching tonight and you're exploring things of faith. But I want you to think about what has God done in your life and through your life from the moment you first met him. Here's some of the people's experience. It says, he turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the waters on foot. Can you imagine Moses putting that staff in and the people looking as the sea parted and they walked through on dry land? What more evidence did they need that God was awesome? He is awesome. It says, come let us rejoice in him. It should bring worship when we see the things God is doing. It says, he rules forever by his power. His eyes watch the nation. Let not the rebellious rise up against him. And then it says, praise our God, O peoples. Let the sound of his praise be heard. I want you to sing loud. I want you to praise. I want you to worship. And I want other people to see the difference that it has in my life and in your life each day. because we come before an awesome and holy God. It tells us then he preserved our lives and kept our feet from slipping us. And then it talks about testing. And I believe we are going through a period of testing. But as part of that testing, we're going to see refining. It says, you've refined us like silver. You know, the testing that we go through can help remove some of the impurities that are there in our lives and help us to become precious. And I want you to think, if you're going through a testing time, as many of us are at this moment, never lose praise. Never lose worship. Never lose sight of who God is and the victories and the way that he's delivered you in the past. It goes on later on in verse 16 to say, come and listen, all you who fear God, let me tell you what he has done for me. I cried out to him with my mouth. His praise was on my tongue. And then going back to what I was talking about on Sunday, it says, if I had cherished my sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened to me. Let's not live lives that disappoint and displease God, but let it always be about worshipping him in our lives and our actions and our decisions. Let's invite others to see the reality of our faith day by day in the good times and the testing times. But it says, but God has surely listened and heard my voice in prayer. And that's what we're going to come in a few minutes to do. We're going to come and pray to God. We're going to bring our requests. We're going to bring our thanksgiving. We're going to bring our confession. We're going to bring our whole lives before God. The little things and the big things, as I've been reminded about today. And God's going to hear our prayers. And I believe that God is going to answer our prayers. And I love the fact, and it finishes to say, praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love for me. Why don't you go and read Psalm 66 and see what it has to say? The rest of the passage, I've just dug into a few things that have encouraged me this afternoon as I've come to prepare to get ready to share. Today is going to be even more chaotic, but do join us at 8:30. Send me a message and I'll send you the link and the password to be able to join us on Zoom. And let's come together to say, come and see what God has done. Come and see what God is doing. And let's come, as I talked about, with expectant hearts, believing that God can move in your life and my life today because he's faithful and he deserves our praise. So get that link, get on board, and I'll see you in a few minutes at our Zoom call at 8:30. I'll see you then.